Hi friends, this is your pal Scott Garibay, and today we are going to talk about Dungeons and Dragons and Madea, um, Madea Destination Wedding. So Madea Destination Wedding dropped on September on dropped on 2025 July 11th, and it's a historically important film. So Madea Destination Wedding is an important film for every dungeon master and for every dragon master because of how Tyler Perry constructs narrative and explores identity. All right, so how does Tyler Perry do that? So, what Tyler Perry does that all dungeon masters have to pay attention to is specifically um, using the broad to bring people to the deep. All right. So Tyler Perry is extremely good at this. So basically, there's a scene by the way, spoilers for Madea Destination Wedding here. Okay. So the Madea Destination Wedding film opens up with Madea getting carjacked, right? She's getting gas in her car, and three guys, roll up, they jump out of her car, and they're like, hey, give me your purse, and I'm going to take the keys to your car. I'm going to take all your money, and I'm going to drive your car away. Well, Madea, she's not going to have that. She's going to fight, of course, right? And at this point, you know what? And at this point, these people are coming to carjack her, right? These are thieves, and there's a good chance somebody's going to die, right? Like Madea could die. They could kill her for because she won't give up her purse and won't give up the keys to her car, or she could kill one of them. And I think there is a distinct possibility she did kill one of them. These three gentlemen who were in the car. Well, I guess they were gentlemen, whatever the opposite of a gentleman. These three brigands, right? So these three brigands come and they attempt to take her car, right? And so she is getting gas in her car, and what she does is she takes the hose of the gas station and just sprays it on the guy who's trying to take her purse, right? And she fights to keep her purse, right? And then she just sprays that guy, and then she runs over and sprays the car, right? And sprays the car. And so they realize, oh my gosh, we're not going to be able to get this lady's purse or her car. We'd better leave, right? So they turn around and they start to drive away. She chases them, lights up her lighter, and throws her lighter at the car. The car, the road bursts into flames. The flames chase the car down the road and burst the entire car into flames, and all three gentlemen pour out of the car on fire, right? It's probably likely she killed one of them, right? And so right out of the gate, right, the comedy of this is very broad, right? But the ramifications of this are very deep, right? Like, for instance, there's this question of, hey, if somebody's going to take your purse, what should you do? And many people will tell you, oh, well, you can replace money, right? But Medea's like, no, you should fight for every single thing that's yours, and you should be willing to take a life or give your own life, and you should never be robbed for any reason, right? And it's an absolute predator stance, and right from the gate, you go from broad to deep, right? But Tyler Perry does this in far more ways, right? One of the things is you're coming to this Madea movie. Oh, it's going to be a bunch of funny jokes. Guess what? There are a ton of funny jokes. And this brings in the muggles. This brings in the people who don't want any deep discussion, who don't want to learn anything. They just want to be entertained, right? And Tyler Perry is extremely good at doing that. He can serve the broad to the muggles so they'll arrive at the location of the, air quotes, entertainment, right? But then once you start watching this, you're like, oh, wait a second, this movie is about destination weddings? Isn't that a subject that is on fire right now all over? Isn't that, a subject that's being widely debated, hotly debated in right now on Reddit, right? And and people are saying, oh, should we go into debt should we go into debt specifically to honor people when they're getting married? And a lot of people are like, yeah, you should be willing to go to destination weddings. And the reason why is this is how our society is built. These are two people who are saying we love each other, we're going to start a family, we're going to have kids, right? We're going, we're here to build society, and you should be willing to go into thousands of dollars of debt to celebrate this. And then there are other people, and there's absolutely no limits to the celebration our society should bear on its back to celebrate this thing that builds us as humanity. That's going to make sure that we just don't disappear, that we're not just eaten by dinosaurs and then disappear off this planet, right? And but then there are other people who are like, oh, no, destination weddings are terrible, and we need to get rid of them. But here's that conversation in a Madea movie, and that is a very current, immediate, urgent conversation that's being had at the macro level in America today. And Tyler Perry's right on it, and he puts a destination wedding in there. He shows everybody the dangers of destination weddings, how incredibly expensive they are, how if you are on the bill for that, how it could put you $100,000 in debt, right? And so maybe there should be a limit. And then, if you go to a destination wedding, how should you behave? Should you not lean heavily on somebody's generosity? These are deep, deep discussions, right? But even then, more than that, it actually talks about, well, who should get married? There's a deep subject in here. And one of the things is like, if you're young, you should get married. And there was a huge statement to women in this film. The man in this film doesn't even have a GED, right? And Tyler Perry, but he says to the father, the girl's father, who is played by Tyler Perry, who also plays Madea, right? He's like, hey, tell me about yourself. And he's like, I'm a high school dropout, don't even have a GED. And he's like, great, marry my daughter. That's a huge statement, right? And the statement there is like, hey, we need to build humanity. We need to build society. What matters is that he can procreate, because that's literally, he's bringing nothing else to the table. Like he couldn't even finish high school, right? But he has the ability to father a child in marriage, right? In marriage, and he's willing to do that. And that's a huge statement. Like, that's a huge cultural statement being made by Tyler Perry, a deep, deep subject, right? And what I think is really fascinating is this is exactly what we as dungeon masters need to be doing. We need to be delivering the broad to have these much deeper, extremely immediate, extremely urgent conversations about our culture and about personally, about ourselves, right? There's even discussion in this movie about what do we do when we hit trials, what do we do when we hit challenges, and there's emotional advice, there's intellectual advice, there's spiritual advice in this film. So, but it's completely disguised as a farce, right? Like, muggles can come to this and say, I didn't learn anything, even though they learned 7 things, right? And very powerful, deep messages were given to them. They don't even realize it happened. And this is exactly where we need to be going as dungeon masters, right? Oh yeah, did you enjoy fighting that owlbear, right? You didn't really see on what the wisdom that was contained within that. You don't understand what his beak represented, do you? No, you don't. You don't. I know you don't, and that's okay. You still got the message, right? And a year from now, or a week from now, or a month from now, you may wake up in the middle of the night and go, oh my gosh, my life has changed because I was given this deep message in a broad platform. Every single word you just heard in this video is my humble opinion, nothing more, nothing less. The important part is when I get to hear your humble opinion, when you get in the comments and send your traffic. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a fetch millennium.